Okay, so we're playing Hanzo and Infernal Shrines. I honestly would go Q-Build this game because it's really good on the map and you outrange both their DPS and you can get really good poke. Like, there's no like real good way to know if it's Q or W, but like normally on this map I always consider it. And I just like look at my range matchups and if they're like good Q-Build matchups, I'll normally go Q-Build. So yeah, I would have went Q-Build Pierce this game. Or even Q build flawless technique. But I don't hate I mean W build's like never bad. So I don't hate it either. Okay, let's see. Did we missed the first scatter kill here? Let's see if we could have played this any cleaner. Okay, he kinda got knocked out of it. You also didn't Q here. You should always be queuing every time it's up. After every auto attack that you can. If you Q this guy, he dies. So also I like to use E on the first wave here or here. Get some vision. No reason to hold it. Oh, you use your Q. I think he still had Q in time. Yeah, he still had Q in time. He could have killed. Oh, you sniped him. It's big. Nice job. There, that's a good scatter angle. Went kind of wide, but that's the right idea. You could still be queuing a little bit earlier. Every time it's up, you want to queue. I think you should have kept this angle. You should try not to go for the reverse angles, I would say. I would always go for um like more aggressive angles. Well, what the like you went for the left to right angle. I think right to left is better as like a general rule. That might just be a preference thing, but that's just how I do it. Okay, so here your Orpheus already on the wave. You could even walk here and like already start poking more aggressively. Like if you were already in that bush, we wouldn't have got speared. But it's still a good trade. Good chase. Good scatter. Beautiful. Clean one there. It's good micro. And so there, I wouldn't go for this. This is a you gotta try not to waste time whenever you get an advantage. So as soon as you kill Imperius here, if you're not looking for more kills with your team, you should instantly go start the camp. Because this wave is already pushed in. So like this is a general like macro rule or like just general rule of like don't waste time. Always be getting some value. So like poking a full HP Rainer who's already gonna clear the wave, it does nothing. Because Rainer can just sustain it or get heals later. So like there's no kill pressure on this guy and the poke isn't really doing anything right now because you're not zoning him from anything. So as soon as you get this kill, you either help these guys chase or you go start this camp and get fast on the map. But going for poke here is a waste of time. So like you wanna always try to be getting value from like every single thing you do. And this is zero value play. Going for poke on this guy. This doesn't do anything. So you basically wasted like 30 seconds doing nothing. Instead, you want to get ahead on your camp because that was the whole point of getting these kills is like get ahead on the map. So like right now you're kind of just running around in circles. And they actually got, even though you guys got a kill and you guys were ahead on midwave, they actually got out their camp and you didn't because you're like wasting time running around in circles. Yeah, just general good rule is like don't waste any time. Poking is good if it like does something. And then there, I would just tap here. There's no reason. Also, you shouldn't jump to recall like that. That's dumb. Just walk. Don't waste your jump like that. And you should have just tapped because you have tap still, and like you want to get ahead on your camp, and you want to get ahead on this bot wave. So that's also wasting. You basically wasted the last like entire minute doing nothing. And look, they're getting out all the camps because. Oh, also WF4 never go WF4 on this map. W4 is the worst thing you could ever do on this map. Always go Q4 on this map no matter what, because it splashes on the shrine. Always, always, always Q4 on this map. And you let your Leo get invaded because you didn't help him finish the camp. That's a good jump. That was an okay scatter. Okay, that's good. At least you helped him. Also, you're backing again, wasting more time. Just use your tap. A second time you could have tapped instead of backing. You should only really ever back if you're completely like literally no mana at all and no tap. Otherwise, you're still useful. Okay, here, following the tank, this is good. Good scatter, good Q, good autos. Well played. In this situation, okay, that's good. Good jump. That's fine. I was gonna say, as you're getting the pick, what you could do is use your E to try to get vision on someone else. So like a lot of times, it's like Murden's rotating from bot side. So a lot of times, as I'm getting this kill, like as you're finishing the kill, you can throw your E here to potentially set up the next kill, or at least like cover the rotation. Or you could E here to see the Arya rotating. So it's like a good principle to like try to get vision as you're getting a kill, but make sure you secure the kill still, you know? But this E is nothing. I think you're trying to get damage on RL or something. But that was a good jump away from Merson. And now you don't have jump, so I would rotate safe here. But okay, you're still playing with tank. Good scatter. Good Q. Everything's good. That was good. That was good. Overall, good. Team got the shine. Going to push. I would E. No, I'm going to upload this and send it to him later. I would. Yeah, that's a good E. You could be further up here. I think you're playing a little bit too. You're wasting time again, and you're too scared for no reason. You have an Anduin. Anytime you have an Anduin, you can stay in front of the Anduin. As long as the Anduin has pull, which he does, you can play pretty far up and poke aggressively, and get some more value out of your Punisher. Pressure harder. You don't really want to be hiding behind your Anduin, and you're kind of just wasting your push to rotate early, but you didn't have to rotate so early. So again, wasted value on the map. Going for Rainer poke that does nothing again. And here I would E here, because they're probably rotating from here. That's good. Good E. Could have been a little bit further up, but still good E. Good scatter. I would go help the boys over here. Okay, you're going. It's good. It's a little bit late, but it's good. That was a bad scatter. You could have stepped into this angle faster. So as soon as they commit here, you want to step into this angle so you can hit them on the top side. So the E should have been earlier. You would have scouted out the mirror rotation faster. The rotation to help should have been a little bit faster. Like this auto attack was wasted. So you're just wasting a lot of time overall. The E should be faster. If you had Q4, this wave would already be cleared. The rotation to help your team should have been a little bit faster. That was a really good scatter, but you should have gone right away. These two auto attacks are bad. You should have stepped into this choke earlier for the better scatter angle. Because right now you blocked yourself off the scatter by not stepping in earlier. That was a good scatter attempt. That was fine. You could have eat that bush again, but that was good overall. Another good scatter angle. 4 minute 50 quest. That's really good. Overall solid. That's a good angle there too. Clearing out the camp. You should E down here. You're probably assuming they're on bottom camp, so it's fine to save it. I like to E before I face check those bushes though, but yeah, Hanzo is my most played CCL season 4. Back in my days. It's a good scatter. Playing with team here is good. You should already be taking. Oh, okay, that's good. You could be looking for an arrow now, but it's a little bit deep. I like that you're looking for it. You could have honestly ripped it there on that clump. I wouldn't hate a rip on arrow here when the Ariel stepped up like that. You always want to look for these, like right here. This is a decent enough clump that you could have ripped it when she steps up to cue the wave. You can always look for tells like that, like 3-man backline clump, stepping up to wave, and you're out of vision here with a good side angle. So like you're in the right spot, you're looking, but you don't pull the trigger. This is a perfect spot to pull the trigger because they won't expect it coming from this angle. You hit 3 people here, APOC follows, and Tomb. So always just try to look for backline clumps. And even when they go on your tank here, you should always be looking if you can. Okay, nice. You rip it now. This might miss. Oh, nice. It landed. Big. The scatter after was bad. You have a little bit more time to line it up. Off a big arrow like that, you can line it up from here to here. Left to right is a good angle. After the arrow, you have time to step up. Like, step up and send it from here to here. Could get blocked by Rainer, but you probably sneak it in that choke. No, okay, you do go for the angle. You just shot it a little bit too early, and your accuracy was bad. Got trapped. But you're fine. That's good. That was good overall. Again, you're backing instead of tapping. Should be tapping here. Anytime your teammate dies like that and they have tempo, you don't want to back. That's the worst time for you to back. Whenever they have an advantage like that, you don't want to back and give them a further advantage. You want to tap and help defend. Because you want to buy time for your Diablo to get back, and you want to slow them down a little bit. And if you had Q4, you'd be splashing Qs on the wave here too. But this is the 3rd time that you backed with tap up when you can just tap. So this is really bad because you're basically like, it's like you're dead right now, and that's not good. You don't want to, while they're sieging, you don't want to back. Especially if you have tap up. But even if you didn't have tap, I would have stayed there because you had enough mana to play. Good scatters, a good poke, good overall. I would stay for mid wave here, don't help the camp. I think you want to get ahead on mid. 3 people on camp is enough. Now you're behind on mid wave and behind on bot wave. So it's bad macro again. And again, this would be solved a little bit by Q4. You also could have went straight bottom here instead of hitting mid. Because now you're making your team run all the way from top to bottom. So you should see like who's doing stuff on the map. Your Orphea is already committed to this camp, so you should have been the one clearing this, and you should have been ready to rotate bottom to defend this. So try to keep an eye on the map. These general tips, or are they towards Hanzo? Whatever I see. Whatever I see. A lot of this is general. Like, this is just general macro. Helping with the camp, we didn't have to help with the camp, and then not going bottom right away. Also here, going top is useless. You should be getting mid prio and maybe looking with your team. Top is already pushed up enough. What? What? You guys did find the pick? Okay, it worked out actually. I would have went for mid wave, but good scatter, good arrow to secure. That was fine. I don't hate that arrow at all. To try on the scatter there. Yeah, okay, this was fine overall. Another rotational jump. Try to be more careful with these. I think it's 2nd time I've seen a bad jump for a rotation. Just walk. You don't gotta be lazy. You want to save your jump. You want to save your jump so you can be more aggressive everywhere. And yeah, Q4 would be solving these wave issues. And now you don't have jump. That pull was stupid though, you didn't need it. But you should be saving your jump. You should be tapping. Okay, good, you're tapping. Going to defend, Punisher, that's fine. The scatter should be on the Punisher, not on the wave. Never scatter waves like that. And again, Q4 would solve that. Miss scatter on Punisher there was bad. You want to just scatter off the fort. There you go. That's a good one. Nice, good. Good Q. I would throw an E for vision there before. Yeah, the E was late. You want to E earlier as you're poking instead of after. You could sneak a scatter here for the camp. Oh wait, your team's going for a kill. Nice, good follow up. The blind arrow, I hate that. I think those arrows are almost never good. You don't want to rip it like that, even though it landed. Always get some vision first. Don't just coin flip an arrow like that. This is a stupid arrow, even though it worked. Generally a terrible idea. You want to save it for when you have vision for the right moment. You're also taking talents really slow. You should try to get in the habit of using control wheel and being ready. Like look at your next tier. So like here I go Q. So before you're level 13 at any point, you want to look to see control 1. Okay. And then here, if you're going Pierce, control 2. If you're going Giant Slayer, control 3. Here, Bullseye, control 3. So try to keep an eye on it. You don't want to be, you're almost level 14 and you don't have your 13. So small things like that can add up. You want to have that habit. You want to have that habit ingrained in your psyche. On every talent tier, on every hero. Okay, so here team's going for invade. I like to E down here for vision. The E's late again. The E's in the right. Your E's are in the right spot, but a lot of times they're late. If you do that E earlier, it zones them from stepping up at all. And if they do step up at all, you guys can go on them. So you want to be a little bit faster on those. It was the one here earlier, and the one here as well could have been earlier. It's a good E, so you can rotate. Okay. That was a good arrow follow up, even though it missed. You did do the right thing. The E is on time this time. It's good. Good scatter angle. Okay, you went D at 13. I don't hate it, but I think Q is generally better. The 30% move speed, the move speed adds up really nicely. And especially in a game like this, you're probably not going too aggressively because they have a lot of punish, a lot of CC. So I think Q13 would definitely be better here. You ran into Riptire. This is really bad. When they Riptire, back up. As soon as you hear Riptire, just back up for a sec. You don't need to go in for poke. This is really bad time to poke. Maybe you're trying to one-shot the tire, but you can one-shot it from a safer distance. All this poke is perfect. Also, I would instantly E here. When your boy gets kidnapped, get him some vision. Get everyone some vision. Throw the E right now, and then look to poke. And as soon as you hear the Riptire, back up for a little bit. So the E is late again. It's a good, every E is good, but it's just late. So try to be faster on these E's. Because see, if you eat a little bit earlier, you would have seen Murden jumping in, and your whole team would have been ready for Murden. So try to be a little bit early to the play with your vision. And also, yeah, if you had Q13, like just hitting this guy with a quick Q, it gives you that move speed that lets you play the game easier, lets you kite around easier. And that's a beautiful scatter, but yeah, you just stepped up into the tire. Like soon as he casts tire, like right now he's casting tire, just back up and take a new angle. Either here, or just be ready to kill the tire from here. But like don't step up past this. Like you're running into the tire. I would have repositioned down here because that's where your Diablo is potentially running towards, and it's just more space down here for you to play the game. Right here is like your team doesn't have any vision anymore on this area, so it's a rough spot for you to walk into, right? And there's no other scatters. you can't scatter because you'd have to step back up into this choke to get any scatters here or here. So it's better for you to walk down here so that you can help your Diablo get out, but also you're playing closer to your front line and hitting like easier spells, and you're also getting away from the Riptire. So like repositioning here saves you a lot. So like try to be more like you don't want to be playing the aggressive flank position here with no vision. So walking up here is really bad, and you ate the full Riptire, and you took a lot of Rainer damage too. Also, oh, you should have went for Rainer here. Once Rainer did step up like that into your choke, you shouldn't have. So like originally going for Murden is good because he's a main target and that's what your tanks can see, right? So like originally going down here was good, but you didn't, and Rainer overcommitted to the chase, so you had a better angle on him here. So like right here, this angle is really good against this Rainer. So you should have committed to this choke now. Like once you're a little bit safer, so like you get a scatter there. Like from here to here, it's a really easy scatter of the Rainer. But you went for the Murden instead, which even though you hit the fat scatter, it's better to go for the squishy who's overcommitted to the choke. Your Orpheus got one shot anyway, and you got Aegis, so you have to back up. This is good, you're repositioning, good scatter angle here, perfect. Missed the cube, but it was the right spot. Good scatters there. Good job backing away from the spear. If you walked down here originally, you guys maybe still lose that, but maybe not because you would have been healthier. It's hard to say, but overall, it's what you should have done. And now I would look to one-shot this Bruiser camp for 16s. It's hard for you to play the Shrine to a 16. Yeah, this is good. You could also ping for help whenever you do something like that. Just so your team's a little bit faster. In general, like pinging your intention on whatever is a good habit to have. So here, I would probably E down here before I walk up. Oh, okay, you don't have it. Wait, what did you use E on? It's important to save your E for the... this E, let's see, you're worried about invade. Is it reasonable? I don't think so, because Murden's here and Rainer's here. You wasted your E. It's better for you to save it for whenever you guys are ready to step into the shrine. So that was a bad E. I would E to like secure position on a good scatter angle for the shrine. Which this is your best angle right now. So like a E down here would have been good. Okay, we walked into a trap, that's not ideal. Maybe looking for an arrow. Nice, 2-man frontline arrow. You missed the scatter. It's still Pierce got some value. You got boop though. I would have done that same arrow, but I think walking into the trap and getting booped was not ideal. It's a good arrow. The scatter was also a little bit shot too far. It would have been better for you to bounce it here, left to right like this, and you would have gotten more damage off of that one. The arrow was very good though. Yeah, the scatter just had to be a little bit. You aimed it a little bit too far down. That was a good boop though. I probably would have got hit by that too. Also, there you could have went for a more aggressive scatter. Since you have Pierce, you can shoot it here, like up to down. This next scatter after you get boop, I would have like right here if that makes sense. Down like that instead of you went for the really safe scatter, but they're already out, so it's only gonna hit them with like the backside of the arrows. But you could have gone for the way more like this. This angle is bad. This angle is only good if they're running down, but since they're running right, this scatter to here, you probably kill it. There's a good chance you kill Imperius. You because you once he runs next to this choke, you're gonna hit him with the full scatter here. So try to keep up when they're running away. You want to go for the more aggressive angles. Like this safe angle is only good if they're committed to this choke here. So you want to get the scatter like closer to them, if that makes sense. But I noticed like sometimes you're going for too many safe angles on the scatters. And yeah, you probably would have killed him with scatter Q there. There, that was a good scatter. It missed, but it was the right idea. Team recommitted, got farmed, jumped out. You got no D13 value this game. Q would have been much better. Good try. That was a good angle, but just barely missed. And it's looking like game. Good arrow. Missed the scatter. You got light bombed. That's just game. You could have been hitting this Punisher a bit more aggressively, but I think it probably was game regardless. But whenever they have objective like that, I focus less on poke and more on clearing the objective overall. I don't know if it's enough for you to have saved it, but like for instance, this first scatter, I would have like right here you have scatter and the mortal is about to step up to your gate, so you can get a very easy scatter into the Punisher here for some early clear before you back up. You won't get jumped. Like right here, if you were ready with the angle from here to here, you would have got good damage on the immortal. And instead, you go for a poke scatter that hits nothing. And I think your next scatter was this next scatter is also a poke scatter, but it should be on the. So like right here, I would scatter here to hit the Punisher again. So you want to focus more on clearing the objective in this situation, and less on the like you're poking the heroes, but the heroes poke matters less than trying to chip down this objective right now. As you wait for your team to spawn to defend, and once your team's alive, then like even here, I wouldn't even go for this poke scatter. I'd be going for poke scatter to defend Punisher. So like too many poke scatters, and you're just trying to defend. But the arrow was good, and then yeah, you just want to scatter here to here, a top down type situation. With Pierce, it's very doable. Even without Pierce, you could find an easy scatter onto junk like this with Giant Slayer. But with Pierce, it's even easier to take this angle and hit them both. And okay, you do go for the angle, so you have the right idea. Just missed execution there. I think that's 2 times on your arrows. You could have done a little bit better on the scatter follow up. And now you're poking in Punisher, but it's a little bit too late. And if you had used those first 3 scatters on the Punisher, you may have cleared it, but yeah, your team was at core Z anyways. Overall, not bad. Mechanics are good overall. The ideas are right. Just need to not waste so much time on the map. Have to go Q4 on this map. You have to execute a little bit better on your follow ups on your arrows, and then I guess this fight, as I said, like you should have once your Diablo ran down, you have to reposition here, and then I'd also recommend Q13. I also recommend, like I said, I would have gone Q build this game, but with W build here, I would have went Giant Slayer. With W build, generally want to go Giant Slayer, even though this is a good Pierce map. Overall solid. I'll give you like a 7 out of 10. Not bad at all.